Okay, write it in the chat. You're muted. Okay, just write it in the chat. It's always better if the question is written in the... Can't hear you. Write it in the chat. Does anyone else have a question while Brinda writes down hers? Okay, so we have been studying about the root of emotion. How does this process happen? How do we reach the state where we have these strong and overpowering emotions, where we, under the power of those immense emotions, we seem to go crazy and do all sorts of things. Remember Nanavati, he actually killed somebody. We can do anything in road rage, all this. So how do we humans? Let's not talk about others. We are all humans. We all go through the same thing. The same rules, the same laws apply to all of us. So, you know, the famous English saying that says, in another man's fate, I weep my own. So when I read in the newspaper or I hear about people who've gone and messed up everything, in another man's fate, I weep my own. It would have been just as likely that this was me who was in that situation. So I have to understand the mechanism of how human beings reach this position where they are so overwhelmed that they can't stop themselves from doing whatever it is that they're about to do. So we will summarize that. Shankar Prasad has a question. In some lecture, I heard a speaker saying, Shankar Prasad, in these lectures, please ask questions that we have said here, because like anybody in the world can say anything. So we have to ask them what they meant, because each person uses language in their way, in their context, whatever. So we need to find out. Let me read the rest of your thing, but let's restrict our questions to what goes on here. In some lecture, I heard a speaker saying, meditate on the self-Atman. How can we do this when we encounter people with obnoxious attitude behavior? You're right, you can't do it. The moment you feel that there are people with obnoxious attitude or behavior, meditating on the self will become futile and useless. Correct. You can meditate on the self when you cannot find anybody who is obnoxious or has a bad attitude or negative people. When you can't find anyone like that, that's the time for us to meditate. So yes, you're completely right. Meditation is not meant to be for the unprepared mind, because it will damage you. Now, what that particular speaker meant by meditate on the self, we really don't know. So it is sort of difficult for us to comment. Okay, so that's another thing. Even in group discussion, when you all come, please discuss only what was studied in class, nothing other than what was studied in class. Shankar Prasad, is that okay? Are you okay with that? Uh, Brinda says, while we should aim at creating social consciousness, it's a fact that human misery will never end as sorrow and joy are opposites forever. It is utopian to say that orphanages and old age homes will be redundant. What then should we do on our part? Will? What's will? What then should we do on our part? We should create social consciousness. I don't understand. What else are you going to do? If you try to create, if you try to make more orphanages and more old age homes, you're not going to solve the problem, but you will by far reduce the problem when you create social consciousness. I don't understand you, Brinda. Social consciousness is better than doing social work, right? You can understand the effect of social consciousness versus the effect of social work. Social consciousness will solve problems. To the extent anybody is socially conscious, he will solve a problem. To the extent that he is doing social work, He's only helping some people who have a problem. There's a world of difference in these two things. If at all we can do anything, is create that education by which everybody will come onto the same, well, not on the same platform, but will improve their platform, whatever it be. Okay. Okay, so anyone else has a question? Okay, Brinda. Now, let's come back to how is it that we can create this emotion which is so strong, which takes us into such delusion. How do we end up creating it? How do we end up at a state where we've done things we don't want to do, where we have behaved in ways that are of highly questionable nature? We have shouted, we have screamed, we have hated, we have cried, we have done all sorts of things. Some people have gone even further. They have murdered, they have committed crimes, they have committed crimes against women, old people, children. I mean, like, how did we end up there? How did any human being end up there? Let's work our way backwards and understand the root of this. It's important because any one of us can reach that state. Please understand that was the urgency of the whole thing. Any moment, any one of us can be that man who has murdered, can be that woman who has jumped out of the window or has killed somebody or I don't know what. I hate to tell you. I mean, if I tell you the stories that I get to hear, you will be appalled. I mean, I can't tell you because these are private and personal matters. You would be appalled. You may end up being terrified because in another man's faith, I weep my own. Any one of us can be in that position. Any one of us. It's not that they are any worse than us. All these people, the corrupt people, the criminals, those in jails, those who are making these big companies and then doing all these scams. You know, those people may be no worse than us. And had we been in that position, we may have done exactly the same thing. Unless we have grown up and matured before we reach that position. So this is an urgent thing that we must understand. So let's trace our way backwards and understand how did these people end up in that deluded state where they were capable of doing things that they themselves would believe to be incorrect. How? So let's work our way backwards. Do you remember the first point in this whole discussion? The first point is that we're going to work our way. We're going down the ladder, okay? We're going to go. Imagine there's a ladder from heaven and they're coming down that ladder and ending up in delusion. So what's the first step? What
Desire.
is the first thing?
Desire.
Before desire, well before desire, Shilpa. What's the first one?
Vasna. Vasna.
Before Vasna. Reshma, you said something?
No, I said Vasna only.
Okay. What's the first step?
Thoughts.
Before thoughts.
Ignorance.
Before ignorance.
Develop your intellect.
Before all of that. What's the very first starting point?
Our birth in this world.
Before that.
Vasanas.
Before that.
Self.
Self. Who said that?
Poonam.
Poonam. Poonam, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Janki ma'am.
Poonam, you're right. And you're right under these circumstances. So, good for you. Your intellect is working. First one is that we are the self. This is stage one for us to understand. Stage one. You and I and the bird sitting on that tree over there, we are the self. every one of us. There is the truth, the eternal truth, what some people call God, some people call Allah, and some call Father in heaven. Some people call it the transcendental reality. Some call it Krishna, some call it Rama, some call it Vishnu, some call it Shiva, some call it Shunyata. But call it what you may. There is a truth. There is something that we most inherently are. Beyond this body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, there is something that makes you and me the same. Our bodies are very different from each other. Your body, my body, that bird's body, the orangutan's body, the cockroach's body. Each one has different bodies. All alag, different. And yet, when I see something similar between you and me, I come somewhat closer. I feel that there is more oneness. So at the mental level, when we expand our love, when we expand our mind into love, we see a oneness between all of us. We see we are no different. We are all members of a family, or we are all studying the same subject, or we all feel the same emotion of anger when our desires are interrupted. In hundreds and hundreds of ways, you and I, at the emotional level, are the same. Like Shakespeare says, like Shylock says actually in Merchant of Venice. He says, you're looking down on the Jews, but when you cut us, do we not bleed? Are not the same things there between you and I and all of us? So when the mind expands in love, we see a sameness. We understand how another person may have felt when he saw his wife having a relationship with somebody else, when that woman gave birth to a child, when that monkey was trying to get some nut which he was looking for. We can understand, right, how they felt. Each one of them different emotions, and yet something linking us. So at the level of the mind, we can stretch out and see the sameness between all of us. When we reach the level of the intellect, we can find the sameness even when we can see the differences. The mind requires that you and I are alike in some manner. But the intellect can stretch beyond the likeness and say, you and I are different. And yet, we can be bound together. You and I don't have to be the same. You are you and I am I. It's like that beautiful poem we studied, that you with music and I with light might beautify and shine the night. Remember the nightingale and the glowworm? You and I are different. And yet, we are all part of this cosmos. We are all part of this bigger picture. So when you come to the level of the intellect, you can rise up to see that even in differences, we are still part of the same thing. And when you come to the spiritual level, you no longer see that you and I are the same, that you and I have so many similarities and so many differences, and yet we can connect. When you come to the spiritual level, you understand that it's not that you and I are similar. It's not that you and I can connect in differences. When you are at the spiritual level, you understand that
We are
You
one.
and I are
We are
one.
one.
you and I are one.
Oneness.
Totally one. So that oneness, that self, you and I, we are all that self. That is a oneness that is between us that can never, nothing can ever happen to that. Because you and I are one, there is no difference here. And once we come to understand that, you've understood. That's all you need to do. You come to this land to understand. And if you understood it, then you are done. Your job is done. There's nothing else to do. But if you don't understand it, if you don't feel that you and I are one, there is no difference, There is no similarity, there is no difference, because there can be difference and similarity only if there are two. But you and I are one. It's the same thing. There's not two different things. There's only one thing. And that thing is equally you and equally me. So if I get that, then I am a completely satisfied human being. I am completely fulfilled. Apuryamanam machala prachishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat. In the Gita, he compares it to an ocean. Apuryamanam, it is full. The ocean is full. Anything goes into it and anything comes out of it makes no difference to the ocean. The ocean is full. All the mighty rivers, the Nile, the Ganges, all the mighty rivers are pouring millions of tons of water into the ocean stays the same. The sun is sucking up all the water. Ocean stays just the same. And so when you take something in, you pull something out, ocean stays just the same. Is paripurna. So similarly, you and I are paripurna. We are full, we are complete, we are whole, we require nothing, we lack nothing. And as soon as you understand that, you are a completely satisfied, fulfilled individual. But when we don't understand that, if we cannot understand our fulfillment, if we cannot understand that there is nothing that I have to strive for, there is nothing for me to do, there is no way that I am in any way less. I am full, I am complete, I'm whole. In no way am I less. If I don't get this, then obviously I feel, what do I feel? If I don't, the first step is I am the self. If I don't get it, then what happens?
The lacuna.
Then I experience a lacuna. I feel an emptiness, a void, like something is missing, something is not there in me. I am not okay in some manner. Some people will think I'm not okay because I don't have enough money. Some people will think I'm not okay because I'm ill. Some people will think I'm not okay because I don't have a proper relationship, or I don't have a proper home, or I don't have a child, or I don't have a job, or I don't have. Everyone will say something. Come up with some reason of why I'm feeling that emptiness, because we're not getting that the only reason to feel that emptiness is because I don't know that I'm the self. I don't get this. So I feel the emptiness, the void, the lacuna. So this is step 2. Step 1 is I am the self. I don't know this. And therefore, okay, step 3, I feel a lacuna. So I am the self. I don't know this. I feel a lacuna. When I feel the lacuna, I come to stage 4. Stage 4 says what? I feel a lacuna, and my lacuna will go away when I get this. Okay, so that this could be anything. It could be ICSE results, it could be a good job, it could be a partner, it could be a child, could be getting rid of a partner. Every one of us will have something in our thing. I feel the emptiness. I don't feel complete. I don't feel okay. And I have to get this thing, and then I'm going to feel okay. This belief that when I get this thing, I'm going to feel okay is what is called desire. That's why you can't stop it. You can't tell yourself, I shouldn't want this. No way. You cannot tell yourself that, because you're convinced that should I have this thing, I will feel okay. Can't change it. Just can't change it. You're so sure about it. And you're so wrong about it. You and I and all of us, we have that same delusion that if I were to get that thing, I am going to be okay. So, technically, a desire can be defined as thought currents going into the world to fill a lacuna that is felt within. You think I'm going to get this thing from the world and then I'm going to feel okay. this is the beginning of the delusion. So stage 4 that we have reached, like this, is the beginning of the delusion. This is the delusion. And as long as this delusion is there, we are just headed down to that ultimate delusion. Some of us are going fast, some of us are going slow. But that's where we're going.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Shyam, may I say something?
Yes, if it's a question, yes.
Yeah, regarding oneness. I remember Swami Ramatirtha said, at absolute level, Atman-wise we are one. But at relative level also, if we see, we breathe the same oxygen. I breathe the same oxygen what you release, and what I release, the other person take the same oxygen. Like this was, we all are connected, we are one. This was, I read in the Swami Ramatirtha's example. It's a scientific...
Shyamji, unless you, firstly it is wrong, what you just said is incorrect. And don't, like everybody comes up now in the middle and says, okay, I read this there, it just breaks the flow of thought. So unless it's a question which we don't understand, then of course bring it up and say, okay, I didn't understand it. But can you imagine if everyone comes up? And secondly, this is not correct. I don't breathe in the oxygen you leave. I will breathe in the carbon dioxide you leave. You don't let go oxygen, you leave carbon dioxide. So, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is, let's not all of us make it it just did, the point gets diffused in all this. So let's just confine. We're going very systematically, step by step, so that we can get the idea. Okay, so I hope
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
Captain Mehta says, please define desire again. Desire can be defined as thought currents going to the world to fill a lacuna felt within. When you feel a lacuna within, the thoughts go out into the world to fill that lacuna. That is known as desire. If you didn't feel that lacuna, there would be no desire. So the way to solve the problem is to go back to that original thing. So who can tell me the steps so far?
Shanti ji, can I say?
Please. Step 1.
So it starts with the self.
Yes. What?
Then
Don't say it starts with the self. Say it properly. It starts with.
What is the question? Just
In the 4 steps. Aditi, you have
Can
to
I
know the
answer?
question before you
Can I
volunteer
say?
to answer.
Can I answer?
Can I say?
Yes.
Can I answer?
Okay, Aditi, yes. Is that
First
Aditi
is
Damania,
yeah.
I am
First
the
step
self.
is I know I am the self. Knowing of I am
No,
the self.
you
Okay,
don't.
I am
And
the
when
self.
you
Step 1.
and when you don't know that I am the self, then there is a lacuna.
Very good. Step 2.
And
I
that is
don't
step
know.
no.
Leads to
That is
step
step
3.
3. That is there is a lacuna which I am
Yes.
feeling, that void inside.
Very good. And step 4.
And step 4 is that desire that if I get this, I can fill this lacuna.
Very good. Excellent. So, number 1, I am the self.
The self.
This is the step of heaven. You get this, you're in heaven. Okay, this is the step of heaven. Now we are coming down from heaven. So first, I am the self. I am full, I am complete. There is no lacuna of any sort. You and I and all of us are the self. There is only the self. There is nothing other than the self. I am the self. Stage 1. You're in heaven. Now you take the first step out of heaven. You don't know that you're the self. I don't know that I am the self. That bird in the tree there does not know that it is the self. Since we don't know we are the self, we come to stage 3, which is feeling of lacuna. And then from there, we go to stage 4. Okay, so now what stage will you call it delusion? The first step out of heaven is the first delusion, right? When you come to desire, that delusion has already become aggravated, because now you have not said, I am feeling a lacuna. Let me find out why I feel this lacuna. I am very sure, I know I'm feeling the lacuna, and I'm just as sure that
That
this
pulling
will
there is
fill up, that I know the solution. I know how that lacuna is going to go away. This is madness. This is the madness. I know for certain how this lacuna is going to go away. This concept itself is nonsensical. If this is not delusion, what is delusion? I have never investigated it. I have never looked into the matter. I have never sat down and thought about it. But yet I know. I'm sure. And nobody can argue with me. Can you argue with the child in 10th standard and say that, after your 10th standard, you're not going to be feeling all right just as you say you are going to? Can you argue? Can you argue with a boy who's just fallen in love with a girl and says, if I marry her, I'm going to be okay? Can you argue with him and say, no, you're not going to be? Can a lady who's not had a child and is dying and longing for a child, can you argue with that person and say, if you get a child, the lacuna is still going to be there? Can you argue? You can't argue. Why not? What is the problem over here? Give me in one word. What is the problem over here?
ignorance.
We are dead
Ignorance.
sure.
Dead sure. The problem, Bharat, is not ignorance. The problem is surety. I am wrong and I'm sure I'm correct. This is the problem of life. That's what Josh Billing says. The trouble with most folks ain't so much their ignorance. It's not the ignorance, but they're knowing so many things which ain't so. So many things we know which are not correct. And that is the problem of life. Amal Khatri, intellectually I get it, but deep down it feels different. Yes, Amal, that is so true. Intellectually we all get it, and deep down it feels very different. Even in class, we will say, yes, it's true. You agree with everything. But the moment real life starts, it's all gone. It's all just disappeared. So you're right. And Amal, the good thing is that you are able to get this. That intellectually, meaning at a very surface level, we get it. But deep down, we don't get it. And you're able to get it. And that itself is a step forward. Please recognize that. It's a step forward that you understand I haven't got it. Many people, unfortunately, believe they get it. And then they do other silly things, all sorts of funny things. So you're right, Amal, and the way to solve the problem, how to deep down get it. Anybody from the class can tell. Amal from Instagram says, intellectually I get it, but deep down it
Study
Your
the
morning
philosophy,
Good.
early
Morning
morning
study.
study.
Very good. So this class is very good, Amal. Its advice is every single day morning study. Only with morning study will the knowledge of the self slowly dawn. And by knowledge of the self, I don't mean just realization. Every step of the way will start becoming clearer. We'll stop being so sure, firstly. Because everything you read in morning study will be something you need to think about. Every sentence will be something I need to think about. Nothing I'm understanding or what I'm reading. And it's that struggle, that strife to understand what is the truth that will make that thing fill up. I hope, Amal, that is clear. If not, you can always ask anything else. So, I hope the 4 stages are clear. Be very clear about this. At least intellectually be clear, Baba. Because now 9 out of 10 times, care, man. We are not intellectually clear about it. If we are not even intellectually clear about it, now what hope is there for us? So let's start again. Every single person, all the 70 people attending this must be clear about it. Number 1, this is the step of heaven. What is the step of heaven?
I'm
Knowledge
the
of
self.
I am the self. Please say I am the self. Get used
I
to
am
it.
the
I
I
am
am
the
the
self.
self. I am the
I am
self.
the self. I
I
am the
am the
self.
self. I am
I
complete.
am the self.
I am complete.
I am the self.
self.
Complete. There is no
I am the
lacuna in
self.
me whatsoever. There is no lacuna over here. Now, I'm saying this, but actually, I don't think so, right? So please understand this, that only at a very superficial level, but at least at the superficial level, let's get it clear. Number one, I am the self. Number two,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm the
I
self.
don't know. I don't know I'm the
I'm the
self.
self.
I don't know.
Number
I
three,
don't.
Feeling of lacuna.
The lacuna. Feel a lacuna. We feel a void between with
right?
it.
We feel a void. So I
Yeah.
am the self. I don't know this. Therefore, I feel a lacuna. I feel a void, an emptiness. Therefore, step
I
We
get
number
have
four.
desires. We have desires. We
desires.
feel.
Therefore,
I
my
think
thoughts, correct. Step number four, desire. What does desire mean? My thoughts go out into the world and say, if I get that thing, I am going to be complete.
complete. I'm going to be
This,
complete. I'm going to be happy.
this is the madness going on. If we can at least recognize up to this point, at this point, if you recognize, you might be able to pull yourself back. But none of us recognize. Even at this point, we don't say, how do I know that if I get my 10th standard exam, I'm going to be all right? How do I know that if I marry this person, I'm going to be all right? How do I know that if I get a child, I'm going to be all right? How am I going to know this? How do I know this? Why am I so sure about it? I don't ask this question. And when I don't ask this question, what do I start doing? I go to the next step. What is the next step? I make some attempt to get that thing. And I don't get that thing. Something interrupts it. Not even don't get. Something interrupts me trying to get that thing. This is when my mind starts bloating up with anger. How dare somebody stop me from getting that? How dare you interrupt me from getting it? My anger starts.
बाबा फिर मेरे को बीच बीच में छोड़ के वो वोमिट करने जा रहा है
Whoever has your volume, your thing switched on, please mute yourself. Try not to interrupt the class. It's a very difficult topic and we try our best to keep it on focus. But it's so difficult, you have no idea. So please help me keep these things focused. As it is, it's a very volatile knowledge and it disappears before you know what happened. So please, everybody, help me keep this class focused onto the point. At least whoever attends the class will have some takeaway from it. Otherwise, it's all so diffused, it's gone before we know what happened. Okay, so I need your help, everybody. Otherwise, we aren't going to make this work. So when I have that desire, and I'm sure, so sure, that by getting that thing, I am going to feel fulfilled, I never ask the question, how do I know? How do I know this? I never ask this question. So I go to the next step. I take that thing. I try to get that thing. If something interrupts me from getting a thing, whatever it is I have decided I need, I will get angry. Remember, anger is an effect and it will come if a desire is interrupted. It will definitely come. Even at that stage, when you're so agitated, you can ask yourself, why am I going through so much agitation? But will we ask? No. What will we do? We will act upon that anger. At any stage, we could have worked our way backwards. We will not. We will work our way forwards. We won't go back to heaven. We'll go down to earth and go to earth, and then we'll go down all the way to hell also. You know, see now, you see why mythology is created? Because just a picturesque way of talking. Now don't say, is there heaven? No, there's no such thing. Heaven is a mental state, please. Okay, so if you're starting from the highest, then you're starting at that step. And then you slowly come out of any sense, come out of any happiness, coming forward, to go backwards. So now something has interrupted me from getting the desire, and I'm very upset. Even at that stage, I can question, right? Any stage I can question. I can say, why am I so upset? Will I question? No. I start hating you who have interrupted my desire. And then I can do you any damage because you are interrupting desire. Therefore, be warned when you go and interrupt desire. Look at what happened to Socrates. Look at what happened to Christ. Why did people do these things to them? Because they thought they were interrupting their desires. They accused, both of them were accused of polluting the minds of people. Polluting. When they're explaining this, people are saying you're polluting our minds. Please understand, don't go around giving philosophy to those people who are not interested. They will come and drag you out of your house and beat you up. Because according to them, you are interrupting their desires. But that's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is make them happy. But will they get it? No, they won't. Be warned. Like fools, we start going around telling people philosophy. The Gita is very clear. Don't tell this to a non-adhikari. Just don't do this. No, we don't want to. We're so impulsive. Oh, I've understood everything I want to tell you. Really, if you understood, you'll shut up. You won't tell a single soul. Because you understand how that soul is going to look at what you just said. He is going to see it as interruption of desire. And he's going to get angry. In the Bhaja Govindam also, you will see that. He's going to talk about it. You know, if you understand the whole vastness of the subject and 10,000 years of people having thought about it and written about it, your hair will stand on end. How could they have thought? How could they have anticipated everything? Like everything? They have. Right? But it's of no use to us unless we reflect upon it. Other people's knowledge is of no use to us until we put in our effort on it. So, you're with me with the steps, right? You are the self. You don't know you're the self. So you feel a lacuna. So the thoughts go out into the world to fill that lacuna. These thoughts going out into the world to fill that lacuna is known as desire. If something happens to interrupt the desire, the next step is anger. And this anger can mount and mount and mount and build up to so much delusion that you can do anything. You want to kill Socrates. You want to kill Christ, the noblest, the best of people who have lived here. You want to do that. Now, what to talk about, all sorts of other people. What do you think happened to, what is that lady with the complicated family tree, Indrayani? What do you think happened to her? What desire do you think was interrupted so much that she felt the need to kill her own daughter? I don't know whether she did it or not. Whether she did it or not, the fact remains that human beings have done these things. What desire was interrupted so much? Think about this. And when our desire is interrupted, we will behave in that manner that Indrayani has allegedly behaved. Be warned. When you feel anger, don't start taking action. Start figuring out where that anger is coming from. That will help me. Taking action and anger, this is madness. It's called delusion. You know in the Gita what it says. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste upajayate. Dhyayato, he thinks of something, a man. Sanga upajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From that comes kamaha, desire. Kamat krodho vijayate. From kam comes krodh. So angry, so angry. What are you so angry about? Somebody is not letting me get what I want. Something is not letting me get what I want. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha. Total delusion in that krodh. Sammohat smruti vibhramaha. Smruti. Memory. Vibhramaha. Destroyed. Smruti bhramshat. Buddhi nasha. When you can't remember anything, what buddhi will work? Buddhi nasha. The intellect is destroyed. Buddhi nasha. When the buddhi is destroyed, we are finished. We are destroyed. This is the ladder of fall. Please understand this. This is your life and my life. And we are standing on that ladder. Any moment, down the drain, any moment. Please be warned. Start now figuring out what's going on. This is what happens when our desire gets interrupted. But what happens if our desire gets fulfilled? Are we happy then?
More desire.
Greed. That's the next step. So that one channel was going towards anger and delusion, and the other channel is going, which fulfills the desire, goes towards greed. And even your greed is fulfilled. Then what happens?
You become arrogant.
You become arrogant. Finish it.
Because,
you become agitated.
Because you have more than them, and you can keep getting more and more. So you start feeling that the other person is lesser than you.
You're right. You become arrogant towards those who have less. And also you become
insecure.
Envious.
Envious of those who have
more than you. Envious.
More than you. You become envious of those who have more. You become jealous. You become arrogant towards those who have less. Now think about this. Anger, greed, jealousy, arrogance, very, very strong emotions. All of these, any one of these can lead us to delusion. It's the latter parts go very fast. Before you know what happened, you've done something that you're going to now regret. It goes very fast. Therefore, be warned and take action when?
Right in the beginning.
Right in the
Which is where?
Which is where your thoughts start.
When your thoughts start there. If you have a thought in your head, please analyze it right there and then. The moment that thought comes to you, analyze there and then. Do I want to keep it? Do I not want to keep it? If I want to keep it with the help of my intellect, certainly keep it. If you don't think this is appropriate for you, throw it out now. Because as you go down the ladder, it will become more and more difficult. If you could not control one thought, how will you control the billions of thoughts that it is going to generate? So, Rajya Shastri, desires lead to innovation and move the wheels of progress. Would it be right to say we keep emotions in control while we work to fulfill these desires? Rajesh, you're also diffusing the point, okay? Try to keep to the point. Firstly, it's not true that desires lead to innovation and move the wheels of progress. This is not true. Desires do no such thing. You and I, we all have desires. What innovation and what progress have we done? All human beings have got desires. Have all human beings innovated something and progressed? No, they haven't, right? There are gin chunke, very few people who have done any innovation or moved any wheel of progress. These are not the people who are full of desires. These were people who had less desires. Gandhi created independence for us, less desires. Mother Teresa worked for the poor, less desires. As your desires are less and less and less, you will do more and more and more. As the desires are more and more and more, you achieve less, you agitate yourself, and you agitate others. So this is not correct, this concept that desires are doing it. No, single desire. If wherever there is desires, you won't end up doing anything. And we are all full of desires and full of desires and full of desires and no innovation and no progress. The only people who innovate, what desires did Einstein have? How few, he couldn't even be bothered to comb his hair. He couldn't be bothered to dress properly. What desires did he have? So this is not true. Please get away from this idea that desires are good for you. They're not. As the level of desires keeps coming down, then better and better things unfold. And they're unfolding not because the desire is there, it's unfolding because the desire is not there. Because the desires are not there. Therefore, it's of some use, whatever little desire is left. So would it be right to say we keep emotions in control while we work to fulfill these desires? No, the problem is desires. If you have a desire, you will do something useful in life. But you have desires in multitude. So we are now talking about the desires of multitude. And we're talking about the wrong way of dealing with desire. So let's not bring in the right way at the moment, because first, at the moment, our discussion is about the wrong way. So let's understand that. Then we will come to a discussion of what is the right way. We are doing that. Don't worry. We are getting there. Don't get frustrated. We are getting there. So try and keep everything focused to what we are doing, so that we will get the meat out of what we are doing. What is the right way of dealing with it? We'll come to it. Ruchi says, how do we deal with such people who are agitated when they are being stopped from taking the wrong path? The path is not wrong according to them. Ruchi, please don't stop other people. It's none of our business. Ruchi, is this your first class? I don't think I've seen you. Do I know you? Ruchi? Hello, are you there? What happened? Okay. So no, this is not my first class. Okay. So I mean, have you been attending classes? Because one very important thing we have in this class, which I hope the others will be able to tell you. Can you tell me which is the very important thing we have in this class?
We mind our own business.
None of your business, correct? None of your business. Yes, Aruchi, that is why you please write down this very important phrase. None of your business. What other people do is their business. It is not our business. Our business, if at all we have some, is to protect our interest. Remember, a good driver is not a person who drives well, but a person who
Who's in control?
Watches out for others'
Watch
mistakes.
out for
Watches
others.
saves himself.
but a person who
Watches
Watches out for the mistakes of others.
watches out for the mistakes of others. So Ruchi, you don't worry about what wrong other people are doing. You have to protect yourself and hopefully them from the effects. For instance, suppose I have a husband who's a spendthrift. Okay, he spends too much money. Can I stop him?
No.
No. So what can I do?
I can save for my future.
Correct. I can save for mine and hopefully his future also. Suppose I have a husband or a wife who just doesn't take care of their health. No exercise, no proper nutrition, no proper discipline. Can I get them to exercise and take care of their health and be disciplined? Can I do that?
No.
And what can I do?
Buy an
Health.
insurance.
Take care of
Medical
mine.
insurance.
Buy health insurance for both of you, because you will get agitated when you see that. So buy for both of you. So please understand what we can do and what we can't do. What we can do, we have no business not to do. And what we can't do, we have no business to do. Other people's lives are their own. So Ruchi adds that this is family. This is my child. Obviously, for child, you have to learn how to deal with it. You are the adult, right? And the child is a child. The child is a natural being. If the child is not doing what you want the child to do, it's because you are not handling yourself in a mature manner. When you handle yourself in a mature manner, the child will also be matured. I'm sorry, Ruchi, that this is so totally unhelpful to you, but this is a fact. What to do? It's a fact. The child is going to do what you do, not what you say. So do it. Whatever it is you want the child to do, you want the child to study, let him see you reading your books. You are not regular according to you, to your class, but you want the child to be regular to his class. Be warned, what you are doing is what the child is doing. If you live your life properly, you have the highest probability that the child will live properly. Even if you live properly, it is not necessary that the child will live properly. Means there are maybe 10% of cases where the children don't learn even after seeing. It is possible. It does happen. That's their life, not my life. Are you okay, Ruchi? Why don't you switch on your audio and say, because by the time you finish typing, the whole thing has gone somewhere else. Please switch on, Ruchi, switch on your video also so that I can see you. Because one thing I don't like about this online classes, they can't see anybody. It's really sad. I wish somebody could let me see everybody so that I know exactly what's going on. Here it is all like, no idea what's going on. Are you getting it and I'm explaining too much, or you're not getting it and I'm explaining too little? No way to know.
Janki ji, then can we keep our videos on and keep all the audios shut? That way you can get to see us and not listen.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that, but I'm told that that can't be done for some reason.
It can be if you have good network.
Network will be a
If your
problem.
network is powerful, then it's possible. It can be tried as an experiment. If it doesn't work, then we can go back.
Okay, switch on all your audios. Let's see, all your videos. Switch your audios off, please. Switch on the videos so that okay, nice. Nice that I can see people now. Okay, so let's see, what is the question? Shankar Prasad says, most often. Where is Shankar Prasad? Let's see Shankar Prasad. Let me speak to the person who's asking the question. Shankar Prasad. Here Shankar Prasad. Okay. So, Shankar Prasad, you're saying that most often we get attached to their behavior and feel the pain. Yes. You get attached, you feel the pain. That's your problem, not their problem. Okay. Please understand that. Okay, you are doing something idiotic and I'm feeling the pain because you're doing something idiotic. In my pain, my problem. So as soon as I understand that, I have no problem with anybody because it's me, it's not them. So, I mean, there's no question here. I'm just agreeing with what you just said. Okay. All right, fine. Nothing else, right? I have to answer. Okay. So, anybody else wants to say anything at this stage of the proceedings while I can see y'all all? This is nice. Now I have to figure out how to see y'all together.
There's a seeker view, and then on the side there is a gallery view. So you can press on the gallery view and then you'll be able to see everybody.
Gallery view? I can't see any gallery view anywhere.
Maybe on the right hand side, top.
If you're on the computer, then it's on the right top corner.
Yeah, on a computer.
There'll be a switch button called view.
A cube-like structure.
Like a grid kind.
Like
yeah,
a grid.
grid, yeah.
Like a grid.
Okay,
Like a grid.
Okay, never mind. Let it be. I have made some progress in this class. I hope I'll make more progress in some future class.
Janki,
So,
we'll
let
give
us
you a screenshot next time, a screenshot on your chat so that you can see it later on after the class. I'll send you a screenshot of where it is.
Okay. Yes, please. Then I'll do it for the next class. So now let us do the next. Is this all clear to everybody up to this point?
One
It's all
question.
clear. You have a question? Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Nanda.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is related to the one which Ruchi had asked about a child. So that is, I think, referring more like the answer that I got from you was a child, a small child. What if it's an adult? Maybe finished college, but that is still your child.
Not anymore. Not anymore. An adult child. In Marathi, there's a saying. Varsha, what is that saying? Please say it for me. Put on your audio and say it.
I don't know.
Huh?
Is it
Huh? What?
It is galat hai, but walat mein like
No,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
not that one. The one which your child's footwear and your footwear comes to the same size.
That's
Then
in
the
Hindi, I know.
huh?
That's in
बेटा जब whatever बाप के जूते पहनने लगे तो he becomes an adult or something like that. I don't know about
but you're not saying the Marathi one is the one.
I
Varsha,
don't know
you
the
say in
Marathi.
Marathi.
No, I don't know the Marathi one. I only heard it in Hindi.
Oh, is it?
That thanks to
Okay, so-
Bollywood, yeah. No.
So when your child's footwear and your footwear come to the same size, or his footwear is now bigger than your footwear, please note this relationship that I have to bring up my child is over. It is over. You had 18 years or 14 years or 15 years or however many years. You either did it or you didn't do it. But whatever it is now over. You will treat this person as you will treat any other human being, which means if they come and ask you a question and ask for your help, all out to help. Not because it's my child, but because you've asked for my help. I will help you. Nothing to do with whether you're my child or not. I'm going to do this for anybody and I'm going to do it for you as well. And if you can do that, your child will be yours forever. Otherwise, forget it. They will run away. Sorry, it's my job to say these things to you, so don't get mad at me. This is the fact. So, all right. So, are you okay, Nanda? You seem to have disappeared from my screen. But are you okay now? Where are you? Disappeared somewhere. Okay, you are Nanda. Okay. So yeah. So is you okay? Yeah. Sorry, all these things are not very helpful to anybody. They think,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
give me some way of dealing with it. No, there's no way. You have to grow up. Sorry. If you refuse to grow up, it ain't happening. So sorry about that, but that's it. Okay, so then next time we will continue with the next paragraph, and
No,
we
it's
have
good for
learned this time
me
that we can have
because
the
I'm
videos
already
on.
doing that. So it is just
Thank
to
you,
understand the
Janki ji.
point, like when it was
Thank
child,
you,
it was not
Janki
just a
ji.
child.
Thank